Call to order for the Town of St. John Redevelopment Commission meeting, November 21st, 2024. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Vice President.
Mr. President.
Roll call. Beth?
Gerald Swets,
Present.
Christian Jorgensen,
You're present.
Mike Bovat,
Here.
Wayne Pondinas,
Present.
Ann Oster is absent, Bill Manisopoulos,
Here.
Joe Svetnoff,
Here.
and Beth Hernandez present.
Thank you. Item 4, approval of minutes. Motion for approval of minutes for 10/23/2024.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of 9/25/2024,
10/23.
or 10, I'm sorry.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 5, new business. A, discussion regarding residential housing development program plans. Billy, if you could comment on that.
Thank you, Mr. President. So on both these items, they're both Label Day, so we can do them both because the age restricted is a component of the EDA there. We're looking at about 108 units on 340 acres. Total infrastructure investment will be 38.5 million. The housing investment will be about 330 million. The assessed value, the additional assessed value would be about 271 million. And out of that, 133 are age restricted.
Thank you for that. At this time, we'd like to open to the floor for any public comment or questions regarding the residential housing development program plans. Any comments or question? If not, we'll move on to A, discussion regarding age restricted housing program.
Again, Mr. President, that was the
2 A's.
the 2As is the resolution that we're going to go ahead and pass.
And how many homes do you think that there was with the age restricted? Or,
I would say a number of the age restricted homes is 133.
okay, 133.
Yeah.
All right, and at this time, we'd also like to open the floor for public discussion or question on either items, A or A. If no comments or questions, the floor is closed on this topic.
Mr. President, I also like to add that both school districts came in for a meeting, Lake Central and Hanover, and we discussed the financing for those two school districts.
Thank you for that, Billy. Item 6, financial matters. Do we have any?
At this time, Mr. President, I think we need a motion to adopt resolution 24-11-21.
Okay. Item 7, ordinance and resolution, motion to adopt resolution 2024-11-21. A resolution of the St. John Redevelopment Commission declaring an area in the town of St. John, Lake County, Indiana, as an economic development area to be known as St. John Economic Development Area 4, approving an economic development plan for said area, establishing a residential housing program and an age-restricted housing program and all matters related thereto. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion. I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 3-1. Item 8, reports and correspondences.
I have nothing.
Nothing?
None.
Anything? At this time, no reports or correspondences. Item 9, any public comment? Thank you. Item 10, motion to adjourn.
Moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Redevelopment Commission is adjourned.
That's what, okay. Thought you were gonna get here before, I was gonna show you. I tried. I tried taking a picture of it. It was a little sloppy. That's all right.
Call to order for the Town Council meeting for the Town of St. John, November 21st, 2024. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll have a moment of silence also. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then for our moment of silence, we have two dignitaries from the Town of St. John. We have Ron Vale and Fred Willman, dedicated public servants. And as we have a moment of silence, please keep their families in your thoughts. Thank you. Ron Vale and Fred Willman, the fire chief.
I think this thing going well.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I would have gone to his,
They're still.
oh, man.
Item 3, roll call.
Gerald Swatz,
Present.
Christian Jorgensen,
Present.
Mike Bovat,
Here.
Wayne Pondinas,
Present.
Ann Oster is absent, Bill Manasopoulos,
Here.
Joe Svetnoff, and Beth Hernandez, present.
Thank you for that, Beth. And we're just going to kind of break aside a little bit from the agenda, and we're going to remember these gentlemen, Ron Vale and Mr. Willman. And I'm going to read something here. And after I'm done reading, I'd like our fire chief to come up and to make a comment. But Ronald J. Vale passed away on November 20th, 2024. He was a loving father of Melissa, Tom, Lachenschlager, and Ron Lies Vale, devoted grandfather of Thomas Bruce Brandon, Taylor Ethan, Julia, AJ, and Kelly, cherished great-grandfather of Scarlett, sister-in-law Suzanne Vale, preceded in death by beloved wife Bernadette, parents Gerald and Abby, brothers Jerry, Bob, Lorraine, and Ed, brother-in-law John, Phyllis, Shukjak, granddaughter Elizabeth, and daughter-in-law Lisa Vale, fond uncle of many nieces and nephews. And this is about Ron. Ron joined the Marines shortly after high school, where he served for 4 years. Afterwards, he began a successful career in sales at Len and Fink Brokerage. He worked for several companies throughout his career, including Maletta Coffee, a position that allowed him to travel globally and for which he received multiple sales awards. Ron's presence took command of a room in the most powerful yet welcoming way. When he spoke, people couldn't help but listen. He was a courageous and caring soul who dedicated his heart to his faith, his family, and his country. His selfishness was exemplified by his many years as a member of the St. John Council of the Knights of Columbus. The time he spent caring for his loving wife, Bernadette, as she battled dementia and Alzheimer's in her latter years, as well as his esteemed role as a volunteer firefighter for the Lake Hills Fire Department, where he served his community in times of crisis for over 40 years. Ron also served on the St. John Police Commission for over 20 years. One winter during a particularly bad snowstorm, Ron and his fellow firefighters were patrolling on their snowmobiles and received a call from dispatch about a woman in labor who was trapped in her home. Ron carried her to the rescue sled, took her to the ambulance, and she was safely transported to the hospital. Ron would give the shirt off his back to help anyone in need, and a good laugh to go with it. Ron was the king of dad jokes, always searching for opportunities to fill a room with laughter. If the punchline didn't get you smiling, his infectious belly laugh was guaranteed to do the trick. When he wasn't cracking jokes, he was telling stories, recounting tales from as far back as his childhood to as recent as his latest trip to the grocery store or the deer he saw at breakfast that morning. Ron was a collector of spare change and of friendships. He seemed to know everyone everywhere, his circle of loved ones encompassing his church, his town, and beyond. On his trips around town, he'd pick up pennies and dimes in parking lots and sidewalks. Then upon seeing his grandchildren, he would dig his treasure out of his pocket, jingle it in his palm, and hold it out to them saying, "Look what I've got," with a cheeky grin. Though ultimately, the change didn't matter. For Ron, the real prize was the amazing sparkle in his grandkids' eyes. The space Ron holds in our hearts will never quite be filled the same. But we take comfort in knowing that he is now in his heavenly home, reunited with his beloved Bernie. May he rest in peacefully in paradise with her forever. If we could have our fire chief, Mr. Shane Adams, come up. Please.
Good evening. A little bit about Ron Drill Sr. I basically have known Ron since I was born. As they said, he was on the Lake Coast Fire Department for over 40 years. He was actually on there for 45 years total. Very dedicated. The most thing he loved was the licensed sirens. It'd be 2 o'clock in the morning and the truck was even out of the station and he was already blowing that siren and stuff like that. He just loved it. The other thing, he was a very caring person, very dedicated. He would help out anybody, and he was a jokester. If he wasn't playing a joke on you, I don't think he went a day in his life without playing a joke on anyone. He was the biggest jokester I knew. If he wasn't doing a joke, that's when we got worried about him. A couple of stories about some of the jokes. Back when he was on our police commission for over 20 years, he would always go to Strax every Saturday morning and buy cinnamon rolls for the police officers. So one morning he comes in, gives us the cinnamon rolls, and he's like, "Man, I kind of feel bad." We're like, "Why?" He goes, "Well, I'm sitting there, and this lady comes up to me. He goes, 'Man, those cinnamon rolls look really, really good.' She goes, 'But I'm on a diet, and I can't have them.' He goes, 'You haven't heard?' And she goes, 'No, what?' He goes, 'Well, they're making them fat-free now.' And she goes, 'Really?' He goes, 'Yeah.' And he was dead serious, no grin on his face, nothing. And she's like, 'Oh,' and she starts grabbing them. And he goes, "I didn't have the heart to tell her different. I just kind of turned around and walked out of the store and never told her." So, yeah, he was definitely a prankster. Back when he worked at the county at the Parks Department, he would be weed whacking out there at the county fairground grounds. So he thought it'd be funny to start pranking the people that go out there for their walks. And he would stop the ladies and be like, "Hey, do you have your walking pass?" And they're like, "No." He goes, "Well, you got to have a walking pass to walk around here now. You got to go to the government complex and get your walking pass." And they're like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, you got to have a walking pass now." They're like, "You got to be kidding me." He goes, "No, I'm joking." So, like I said, he was such a big jokester. His granddaughter wrote, as far as with the pennies and the dimes, if there was loose change anywhere in the parking lot, that guy could spot it. So, I don't know how much money over his lifetime of just him picking up the loose change. I know one year he said he did like $100 just by picking up loose change in the parking lots. That guy could spot it. But like I said, he was very dedicated to his town. I think a lot of people in this town know him. He was very outgoing, very family-oriented. When his wife got him sick, he was there by her side every single day, 7 days a week. He would just go home and go to sleep and be right there with her. and so like that. So very dedicated gentleman. Let's say did over 20 years on the police commission here for this town, and hired a majority of our police officers, and so like that. So it's going to be a great loss with everybody with losing them, and my condolences to the family. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane. I'd also like to comment on another pillar of our community here in St. John. That is Mr. Frederick E. Fred Willman, age 76, late of St. John, Indiana. He passed away November 19th, 2024. Beloved husband of Catherine for 56 years, loving father of John, Teresa, Frederick Willman, devoted grandfather, cherished great-grandfather. Fred was an employee at Pleasant View Dairy in Highland, Indiana for 32 years as a plant manager. During his last 15 years at the dairy, he decided to follow his passion for service and become a volunteer fireman and EMT for the St. John Volunteer Fire Department, where he eventually became the volunteer fire chief in 2002. Fred resigned his position at the dairy and accepted the position of full-time fire chief. Fred served the town of St. John tirelessly as a firefighter and EMT for nearly 40 years and was fire chief for 25 years, retiring in December 2020. He was a member of the Indiana Fire Chiefs Association. We are grateful that we had men like this to serve our community. And again, I'm asking that our fire chief, Mr. Shane Adams, had a personal, such a strong relationship. If you could please speak about Mr. Willman.
All right. With Fred Willman, he's another gentleman I've known for a long time. I joined the fire service back in 1995. Fred was there back when I was on Lake Hills. Obviously, Lake Hills and St. John worked very, very close. I became very good friends with Fred. Fred was very, very helpful. He would help anyone. I don't know how many times I would go to him and meet with him and be like, "Hey, Fred, what do you think about this? Hey, I'm a little nervous about this." And he was always there to end up guiding me through my path as when I was chief over at Lake Hills. So he always gave me that comfort and kind of always gave me that little nudge I needed to make a bigger decision, stuff like that. But he would do that with anybody in this town. He would be there for. I don't know of another guy that was so dedicated. He's like 30 years older than me, and I couldn't keep up with him. I mean, that guy does. I don't know when he slept. You go by the station at 2 o'clock in the morning, and he'd be up in his office, and his light would be on. And I'd be like, "When do you sleep?" I mean, that guy lived at the fire station. He was always there 7 days a week, very dedicated on every single call. I mean, he put his heart and soul into the fire department. He grew the fire department. Back when he first got on, it was mostly a volunteer fire department. He started building it to be the career and getting more staffing as he's seen the growth of the town, getting more ambulances, and so like that, he's seen the need and started growing the ambulance service and the firefighters and so like that to where it is today and so like that. So he's seen that need and so like that. He loved to cut grass. You see him around the station cutting grass, so like that. Actually, when he retired, the guys and girls behind me, they bought him a mower. And so like that was his gift. And then we had heard that his neighbors were getting a little annoyed because he was cutting his grass every single day. That's how much he loved to cut grass. And they're like, "Fred, your grass don't need to be cut every single day." So yeah, he loved to do. He was busy. I don't think that guy, for the 25 years that he was chief here, I don't think he ever slept in his own bed. If he was at home, he would actually be sleeping in the recliner, but that radio would be on. And he'd be listening to all the calls, and he knew exactly what was going on and who was where and everything else. And I'm like, "Fred, do you ever sleep?" But like I said, I mean, I've been with this town for 19 years now. In my 19 years, I've never seen a more dedicated town employee than what Fred Willman was. And he was an awesome chief. He's helped a lot of us. He's helped a lot of the younger guys to get to where they're at today and grow all of us. And once again, he's going to be a huge loss to this town. And so that, and my condolences to his family. And just so you guys know, we are going to do fire service for both of the gentlemen. It is on our Facebook page, the arrangements and stuff like that. And then on Saturday, we're going to go in front of the station and do one last drive-by with Chief Fred Willman and stuff like that. So if you guys want to check on the Facebook page, and they're both going to be at Elmwood. All the DMTLs will be there, but we're going to give both of those gentlemen the honors that they both deserve for serving their communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Adams. And greatly appreciate everybody taking the opportunity to share with us and remember these pillars and stalwarts of the community of St. John for the great service that they gave to us. Thank you so much for that.
If I may,
Go ahead.
Mr. President, I got to know Fred pretty well my first term on the council, and he was here, and he was always here, and he gave a great report. He was very stoic and very dry, but he really wasn't that way personally. I just run into him about a year ago. We were at Gino's, and we were laughing, and I had asked him what he got. He's like, meatloaf, and I'm like, you got meatloaf from Gino's? He's like, yeah, what do you want me to get? You know? And I was laughing. I'm like, no, I come here from the pineapple. And I mean, it was just, I mean, we sat there in the vestibule, and we were just, I mean, he was a very funny man, and you know, very affable, and he was a great guy. Very professional here, and when he wasn't at work, he really was. He was just, he was a funny and fun man, and I'll miss him very much, and my condolences to the family.
Thank you for that, Christian. Anyone else? With that, we have some other
So we-
recognition.
We do.
Billy?
The town received a letter from Mary Therese Roberts and wanted it read into the records. So it goes, Dear Town Council President and council members, on October 26th, our world was changed. My husband wasn't feeling well, and I took him to immediate care here in St. John. Within moments of arriving, the physician called for transport, which seemed to be only seconds. Paramedic Dieterman and EMTV arrived. I don't know how paramedic Dieterman determined it was a brain telemetry and not a cardiac event, but his knowledge was attributed to saving my husband's life. In less than 1 hour upon arriving at the hospital, my husband was in surgery for a brain bleed. The first 2 surgeries to stop the bleed. I have no words to express how eternally grateful we are to these 2 men. Without the knowledge and the skill of these 2 fine young men, I shudder to think what the outcome could have been. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for giving us a second chance. We remain eternally grateful for these fine men. Sincerely, Dale and Mary Therese Roberts.
Thank you for that.
Both gentlemen are here today, and Chief would like to recognize them.
Chief Adams, if you could please come back up again.
So tonight, these 2 gentlemen, you heard the public on call, they're gonna get what's called our life-saving award. Once they come in, they will get commendation bars that will be a life-saving award, and it will be probably displayed on their uniform. So once those come in, I will present those to the gentlemen, but tonight they're at least getting their life-saving award. And it says, on behalf of the town of St. John and St. John Fire Department, the life-saving award is presented to, and they have both of their names. On October 26, 2024, paramedic Jeremiah and Viet were dispatched to the Intermediate Care Center at 9660 Wicker Avenue in St. John. Upon arrival, they quickly recognized the symptoms of a brain bleed and immediately started treatment. They alerted the receiving hospital, so they were prepared. The patient subsequently underwent 2 brain surgeries to stop the bleeding. The patient is alive today because of the quick actions and treatment of the animals. And Congratulations, guys. Awesome job. So.
You want to bring your crew up? Yeah?
Everybody up?
Yeah, maybe we need to.
Don't want to photobomb them.
No.
If that's the worst thing you ever do.
You guys want to jump in? Is that what you set up for?
No, we were,
Oh,
getting,
okay, I thought-
we were getting out of the way.
I got yours.
It's up to you.
We'll get in there.
Good? There we go. All right, perfect. Thank you, guys.
Well, Billy, I've never seen you take a perfect photo.
It was perfect. It was perfect. Okay.
You don't take it from down here. You gotta take it from up here.
Hey, as long as you look at it like this.
All right, thank you, everyone. Item 4, approval of minutes. A for October 23rd, 2024, Town Council minutes, and for B, November 13th, 2024, Town Council study session. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve both the October and November town council meeting minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I to A, abstain on B.
Okay. 4-0 and 3.
Sorry about that. I was not there.
Gotcha.
I would be remiss.
Thank you for that. Moving to item 5, agenda items. A, financial matters of the corporation. Request to purchase. There are a total of 13 requests to purchase in the combined total of $224,640.76 for approval. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 3-1. Item 2, accounts payable voucher dated November 21st, 2024, representing payment for payroll, supplies, services, and equipment rendered to the town of St. John in a combined total of $2,506,435.41. Do I have a motion to pay?
So moved to pay. I have reviewed it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 3-1. Item B, ordinances and resolutions. Consider ordinance 1848, an ordinance repealing town ordinance number 1721, being an ordinance establishing a road impact fee for the town of St. John, Lake County, Indiana, for the purpose of planning and financing road infrastructure improvements to serve new development in the town, and amending town ordinance number 1719, being an ordinance regulating the construction, alteration, repair, location, and use of building rules, codes, and standards required to be enforced under the provisions of Indiana Code 39-7-2-9, as amended from time to time, providing for the issuance of permits, providing penalties for violations, and repealing all ordinances or parts thereof in conflict herewith. Do I have a motion?
So moved. And let me just say, if you don't mind, Mr. President,
Sure.
we are, and most of this council intends to be, a commercially friendly town. This repeal was necessary to do that. It was onerous. It would set the town back, and it's a long time coming. So I'm happy to make that motion.
Thank you for that. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay,
Like a horse.
I know.
Motion carries 3-1. Motion to adopt Resolution 2024-11-21A, Civil, a resolution providing for the transfer of appropriations for the various funds of the town of St. John, Lake County, Indiana, for the year 2024, for the action and passage by the town council pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1-1-18-6.
So moved.
I have a
I'll
motion.
second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
You ruined my horse comment.
It's all right. I like disappointing you sometimes.
I thought that's what that was.
Okay.
Number 3, motion to adopt Resolution 2024-11-21B, Water Utility, a resolution providing for the transfer of appropriations for the various funds of the town of St. John, Lake County, Indiana, for the year 2024, for the action and passage by the town council pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1-1-18-6.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Motion to adopt Resolution 2024-11-21C, wastewater, a resolution providing for the transfer of appropriations for the various funds of the town of St. John, Lake County, Indiana, for the year 2024, for the action and passage by the town council pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1-1-18-6.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 5, motion to adopt Resolution 2024-11-21D, Water District, a resolution providing for the transfer of appropriations for the various funds of the town of St. John, Lake County, Indiana, for the year 2024, for the action and passage by the town council pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1-1-18-6.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 6, motion to adopt Resolution 2024-11-21E, Sanitation District, a resolution providing for the transfer of appropriations for the various funds of the town of St. John, Lake County, Indiana, for the year 2024, for the action and passage by the town council pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1-1-18-6.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Number 6, Town Council action. Motion to approve the St. John Fire contract with Hanover Township for the year 2025. Do I have a motion?
So moved on that.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Number 2, motion to approve the special exception for Traveling Tranquility located at 9615, and how do you say that name? Kyleman Street. Favorable recommendation from the BZA Board. Do I
So
have a-
moved.
I have a motion.
second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Number 3, motion to approve the use variance for Midwest Anesthesia and Pain Specialty located at 9615 Kyleman Street. Favorable recommendation from the BZA Board.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Motion to approve Net2 Phone as our new phone carrier.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Mr. Chairman, I haven't seen any documentation on this or pricing. Are we saving money? Are we spending more money? What's the reason for the move?
So,
Billy?
thank you, Mr. President. NEC is no longer in the phone business. It's actually getting out. Anyone who doesn't have a contract already with them, which we do not, you're not going to be supported by them.
Okay.
So we're moving forward before that happens. And
So we don't need new phones.
what's that?
We don't need new phones.
There is new hardware coming with this.
Okay. And so, okay. What is this going to cost us?
Roughly $1,300 a month.
As opposed to what we're currently spending without the contract?
The contract without the service calls that we had, Jerry, and I don't know offhand, but it was a little bit more than that.
Okay.
I think we spent somewhere around 40,000
Yeah.
to redo our phone system, but that was within the last 4 years. And then Mark, our IT, said that the whole system's obsolete, and it will be in the next 6 months.
Okay.
He said he got 3 quotes,
That's good.
and he
Glad to
decided,
hear that.
yeah. And then he did write, I don't know, I saw it come through. I don't know if it's in the packet or not, but he gave some sort of explanation as far as why he was making a recommendation for this particular provider.
It was in the packet. I have a copy too, Jerry, if you need.
Okay.
You go with that, Jerry?
Fine. Yep.
All right, thank you. So I have a motion. Did I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. It's not on here, but number 5 was a motion to appoint Mark Smith, the IT director. It's the town's Apple administrator,
Yes.
Billy?
So, for us to gain access to our Apple products, Apple's requesting, because we have no passcodes from the past, Apple's requesting that the town council takes action, appoints this gentleman our representative, so he can gain access to our accounts.
So what we'll need to do is provide Apple a copy of our town meeting minutes. They will then designate Mr. Smith as our Apple administrator, so we'll be able to manage our Apple account regarding any and all apps and so on.
Okay.
So the motion is what exactly? I'm sorry.
To appoint Mark Smith as the administrator for the Apple account so that we can get the passcodes.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Number 7, reports and correspondences, town council. Gentlemen, anyone?
I have a comment. I was in Munster this afternoon, or actually this morning. Coming back, the roads were terrible. We were sliding all over the place. I took a side road. There was semis rolled off to the side. Took another side road. Another semi rolled off to the side. As soon as I got to St. John, The roads were clear. Everything was good. The salt was down. And so I wanted to say thank you to the Public Works guys for the job they did with this, because it really was good today.
Thank you for that.
And they started early today, or this morning.
Any other comments?
No, that's it.
I'd kind of like to piggyback off of that. I am fortunate to drive a school bus for Hanover school system. I seen the salt trucks out in the different areas where I was driving, and I mean, the roads were good. And as a bus driver and picking up kids, I mean, that's huge. So yes, I think they did a great job. Billy, appreciate what the guys did. If you could communicate that also.
I will definitely.
And the only other thing I would like to say is I'm truly grateful for Chief Adams, the people we have serving our community, the firefighters that come up here, the whole comment about Mary Teresa, and I think we all know Mary Teresa and Dale, and what they did actually saved his life. How phenomenal. And I think that we have those type of situations because of the men that we honored prior and the stalwarts of our community. And at this time, I know Thanksgiving's coming. I'd just like to wish everyone a happy and a grateful Thanksgiving, thankful for everything that the community in the town of St. John has, thankful that we can all work together and do positive things to advance and make our community a better place to live. That's all I have.
Very nice.
All right, with that, we'll move to the town manager. Billy?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one addition, and I know Councilman Oster and yourself has already seen it. I got it through the 3 other councilmen today. It is an announcement of the St. John Community Center. This project is one that's long overdue for our town. The new community center represents a cooperative effort between the town and the developer of the Gates of St. John. The building will have a residential type look and is roughly 6,600 square feet in size. It will feature an outside patio area with a fire pit. The interior will be an open concept complete with restrooms, kitchen, bar, and stage area. Community center will serve as a dual purpose as an indoor park and recreation area and a venue available for residents to rent for birthday parties, bridal showers, baby showers, or family events. Construction is anticipated to begin at any time now and with an anticipated opening in the summer of 2025.
What time? December of?
Opening of September 2025.
September 25.
Summer, I'm sorry, thank you, Beth.
Yeah.
Summer of
gonna
2025.
What the?
Summer of 25?
Summer of 2025.
Okay. I love those pictures. It looks like a splendid facility that the town is going to really benefit from.
Where is this located?
Right next to the skate park, Beth.
You done with your comments?
Aye.
And now I see we have our engineer in the audience, and I want to say that we have wells 8 and 9. They're all set, item approved. Plus, they approved the Kilkenny building for the altitude valve. The last of 3 to be installed, so that's all going to go out for bid, and that's going to make our water, once we hook up this 8 and 9, we are really going to be doing good with water supply, right? No water shortages. And I want to thank you guys for getting that done. It took a lot of time. And then our water main project that went by Larimer and Woodland, that's all done. The street's been paved. They got a little concrete, 28 feet of concrete curb, the fix. That's doing good. The altitude valve that's done, that was put in by the Hack Street Tower, they improved the water hydraulics for our town. That's all set up now with a SCADA system. That's going to do well, just like the altitude valve in the treatment plant. You go to the skate park, those people, the park board, phenomenal job this year, and a couple years back, they got that skate park started. But the lights are going up. There's lights for the skate park and the pickleball courts. That's another thing that came into town, pickleball. People wanted it. They got it. we're making a lot of progress as a park board, as a town council. It's been great. Got a lot other towns are coming out to look at our pickleball courts to find out how we did it and how much does it cost. There's trees that have been planted, I think, bushes. The first light pole went up, maybe the second one's up today, but I think it was too windy in the snow. But within a month, I would think that all the lights will be on and ready to go. So everything is doing great, and I'd like to express what Mike Bovet said to everybody that's going to watch this, that are here. Have a happy Thanksgiving, travel safely, spend time with your family. Just enjoy yourself for the holidays, because you never know when things come to an end for you. So enjoy your family and enjoy the holiday.
Yep.
I'd kind of like to piggyback on that, and thank you for your comments, Wayne. As far as the pickleball courts, really never played it, but I'd like to get involved. I guess it's an up-and-coming sport, and I'd like to challenge my cohort, Wayne. I know he's recently had knee surgery, so I'd like to take him up on a game of pickleball. So.
Game on. Game on, dude. You know what?
Maybe you guys could host a fundraiser.
You want to get him before he heals? Is that the trick?
Perhaps we can have EMS there.
Battle of the
They might say something
Battle of the
else.
Pickleball.
Just as a precaution.
Good point. Good point. And that could work.
You think, Shane, Chief? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That makes me feel a lot better.
Wow.
All right, should be exciting. Thank you for that. With that, we will move to the clerk treasurer.
Just happy Thanksgiving to everybody and their families. The day after Thanksgiving, Friday, November 29th, is our 20th anniversary of Christmas in the Park. And so we invite everybody out to Prairie West Park that evening. There will be a fireworks show promptly at 7 p.m. Santa, Mrs. Claus, Welch's Stop and Shop has donated hot dogs again this year, so they will be out there. We have crumble cookie. It'll be a really big, nice event, so we invite everybody out. I hope the council members will make it out there as well.
We have been in the past, and it's
Yep.
spectacular.
And I would like to thank the Hanover Bus Transportation, because they are going to help. We have overflow parking at the old Kmart lot, and we have 2 buses that Hanover so graciously allowed us to use that will be able to bus people over to the park, since parking is quite limited. But it's definitely been a community effort, and I appreciate everybody in the community for stepping up and being a part of this event.
Thank you for that, Beth. Anyone else? Last comment. I have item 8, public comment. I didn't have anybody signed up. Did anybody care to say anything? Okay, thank you. Item 9, adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion. I have a